Hello everyone and welcome to my little corner of the internet. My name's Michael and I'm bitten by a radioactive book. Today is Wednesday and that means one thing in the booktubing community. It's Top 5 Wednesday. And this week we have a very interesting topic. It's the top 5 worlds. As a fantasy fan, world building is one of the major elements that play into my personal reading, so I'm very excited about this topic. So let's get started. My number one pick would be of course Steven Erikson's World of the Malazan Book of the Fallen, which is my personal favorite series. Steven Erikson not only creates a world of interesting races, for example the Telanimas, a thought of Neanderthalian culture that bound themselves to a ritual to become undead to be able to fight their arch enemies, the Jackhood, which are kind of a orcish race. But instead of the more brutish orcs we know from Tolkien, the Jackhood are more like loners, wielders of powerful ice magic. They're highly philosophical beings, and very interesting. And you see with his races, Steven Erikson often turns some of our preconceptions about certain races around. It's very well done. But apart from his races, Steven Erikson is literally a world builder in the basest sense of the word, because he has a degree in anthropology and he knows how real worlds are actually built itself. Like if you would make a hole and go like 2,000 feet deep into the earth, you could call Steven Erikson and ask him, yeah, what's in there? What kind of soil is in there? And he would be like, oh yeah, because the world had this and this events and this and that happened. That is what's inside the earth. So he really built his world, and you can really see it. It's one of the best depictions of nature I have ever encountered. And as he is an anthropologist, also of tribal cultures. He's very good in depicting them and how societies based on tribal cultures work. So if you're interested in anthropology, that series might be worth a look. My second favorite world is of course Westeros, the world A Song of Ice and Fire by George R. R. Martin plays in. What I like about Westeros and Martin's creativity is that he's able to create really unique places. All of them have a flavor and are memorable. If you think about places like the Eyrie with its sky cells and the moon door, West Dothrak, a city without roofs, and of course the mighty wall in the north, these are memorable places, and I like it when my fantasy is very distinct and unique, and I think George R. R. Martin has a really knack for building those interesting places. So Westeros definitely my number 2. My number 3 pick is a series that most of you won't know because it's a German phenomenon. It got translated a lot, but I think it's not nearly as popular in other countries than it is in Germany. I'm talking about a Penny Dreadful series called Perry Rhodan, and this series actually started in, I think, 1963, and it's still running. So they are it's a weekly series, always written by a team of authors, so it's a shared world, and they have story arcs that last 50 or 100 issues, and yeah, each week there is a new issue. There are over 2,000 issues. Since the 1960s, a lot has happened in that world. And the amount of races, planets, galactic phenomenons they created is mind-boggling. It's unbelievable. So if you are able to go and look for Perry Rhodan, they did some things that they created books actually out of their of the main series, where they only take the important events for the story arcs and put them into books, and there are way about way above 100 of these books available. So go there and look. And I think, fun fact, I think Marvel kind of stole the idea of Rocket Raccoon from Perry Rhodan, because Perry Rhodan has also a kind of rodent in a space costume, which is called Gookie, and I think Gookie was there before Rocket Raccoon was. Maybe a Marvel writer was inspired by Perry Rhodan. I'm not sure, but could be possible. I don't know. My number 4 pick would be the world of Shadowrun. Shadowrun is actually a blend of cyberpunk elements and magic. The basic scenario is that magic returns to the world, and a part of the population evolves into magical races like elves, dwarves, trolls, and orcs. We have the return of dragons to the world, of demons, but on the other hand, technology made a leap as well, and we have things like cybernetic arms. You can go into the internet via cable and be an avatar there. You can rig drones and fly them around, stuff like that. So it's very interesting to see that kind of changes happen in our world. It has also a bit of a social commentary, because actually mega corporations arise and take most of the power into the world and have like private armies who control cities. There's more cities become bigger and bigger, and it's kind of an interesting yeah, social evolvement as well. The original Shadowrun world is based on a pen and paper role-playing game that was very popular at the end of the 90s, and it had an accompanying novel series with about, I think, 40 novels in the end. And although the novels themselves are more like pulpy fun instead of being really good literary books, you know, but the whole world and world building is really, really excellent. So the Shadowrun world would be my number 4 pick. And my number 5 pick is also a pen and paper role-playing game that had an accompanying novel series. It's called Talk, and the premise of Talk is that our world, as we know it, is attacked by different possibilities, and these possibilities change different parts of the world and make them into their own kind of universe. That sounds weird, let me explain a bit. For example, the US is attacked by a world of, yeah, a very primitive world of dinosaurs, tribal warriors, and so this world takes its own like reality, and this reality is stronger than the US reality, and that means that technology doesn't function anymore. For example, if somebody tries to fire a gun, it won't work, because the possibility of this other realm is, or the reality of that realm is too strong, and so the US becomes like a primitive culture, like I said, with dinosaurs running around and jungle everywhere. And this kind of change happens in many parts of the world, or I think all of them. For example, like England becomes like a high fantasy country with elves and dwarfs running around. France becomes like this cyber papacy with a lot of cyberpunk elements, but also at the same time being very zealous, yeah, or becoming very religious zealots. The countries in the north of Africa, like Egypt, for example, become a pulpy world of superheroes, but in an Indiana Jones kind of way, if that makes any sense to you. And the region around, I think, Australia and far in the east becomes some sort of Victorian horror scenario. So you have all these um, different pockets of realities that take over parts of the world. And in the novel series, then also in the role-playing game, you had characters that were able to travel between those realities, because most of the inhabitant people don't know about this, and they just changed into that new reality. But the heroes are actually able to travel between those realities and trying to solve the mystery behind it. And again, the books are like very solid pulpy fun, but not like up there in really good writing. But I think I rated them fairly high, because the world building is such a unique and fun experience. So if you are a world building fan, go and check this out. So that's it for today. What are your favorite worlds? Please tell me in the comments, or link your own top 5 worlds video. If you liked this video, please hit the like button, or even subscribe to my channel to see more of me. And I hope you get bitten by a really good book too. Bye bye.